Hi, good morning. How is everyone? I'm getting on here and doing a full face makeup. I haven't been live in well over a week, so I'm just gonna get on here and do my makeup while I get ready. But before I get started, as you get on here, let me know that you're here, say hello. Even if you're watching the replay, I like to say hello back. So I'm gonna get started. I have a clean face. What I use to clean my face, I'm kind of a lazy girl when it comes to cleaning my face, is a good wipe. I use the CVS Beauty 360. This is a nighttime makeup remover wipe. I like to use anything nighttime because my skin needs extra moisture, and typically a nighttime product has lots of moisture. And then once a week I use these simple exfoliating wipes, again because I'm lazy. Occasionally I like to use an exfoliating mask. I do exfoliate every week, but the wipes are nice too. Clean up, throw it away, and you're done. I always spend time moisturizing my face, so I've already cleaned my face, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Boscia Daily Moisturizer. Has some SPF in it, and just rub it in. Hi, Destiny. So always try to rub upward. You don't want to drag your face down. You want to rub it upward. And then don't forget your neck. Your neck needs love too. And then if I'm feeling super dehydrated or dry, I like to use, oh goodness, I left the lid off, a beauty serum. And I just take, it's like an oil, and take a few drops, put it in my hand, warm it up. I think everything needs to be warmed up a little bit. And just rub it into any extra dry areas. So the Uplift Serum is meant to treat those problem areas. Okay. Hi, Amy. Okay. Sometimes my hillbilly comes out. Did you just hear that? I'm like, hi, Amy. I call it my Shelbyville accent. I one time had a patient ask me, where are you from? I sense an accent. I'm like, Shelbyville. They thought that was funny. All right, I try to let my moisturizer soak in for a tiny bit before I jump right into my foundation and primer, because I find that if I put too much on, it rolls. Have you ever had your foundation feel like it rolls off your face, or like your skin's almost coming off, like it's peeling? I find that it does that when I don't let things soak into my skin. So I just spend the time rubbing it in. Okay. I am going to jump in with a primer. Always use a primer if you want your makeup to last longer and not settle in fine lines and pores. I use the Smashbox Photo Finish Light Primer a lot. It's good for combination skin. It's going to prevent makeup from, like if you have oily skin, it's going to prevent it from your makeup disappearing from the oil. The primer is going to help with that. And then if you have dry skin, pick one that is a little bit creamier, and it's going to be like that added moisture. So you typically need a very small amount when it comes to primer. If you use too much, it's going to cause that foundation rolling. A lot of them have dimethicone in them that give them that super silky feel. They feel lovely on your skin. It's like going to the spa. There it is. It's my hillbilly accent, going to the spa. All right, primer's on. It's kind of fitting. I'm wearing flannel today. All right, shake, shake, shake. It's liquid, and it's kind of a thinner liquid, so if you don't shake it, you're gonna either get too much makeup or you're gonna get too much water, and you don't want either. Trick. If you find yourself in the winter getting a little bit drier, use a BB cream mixed in with your foundation, and it gives you that extra moisture. So I just take a pump or like a squirt BB cream. It's a tinted moisturizer. And then I like to take, this is Scarlet. This is my lightest color. Drop it right in there with it. And then I also, since I'm still transitioning to my lightest shade, which is in the winter, I like to take the next neutral tone up which is taffeta, and I only take like 1 drop of that because I really don't need a lot more color. As you can see, I'm almost all the way scarlet. Ooh, knocking things over. Okay, I mix it up with my fingers. You know, I love a good brush, but your fingers are great tools too. Okay, it's all mixed up. I just tap the extra off from my finger on my face because I don't want to waste it. And then I take my trusty beauty blender, which is slightly damp already, and blend it in. So people ask me, why do you get it wet? I get it wet because if I don't, the product gets soaked up by, it's a sponge. It soaks up the product and it's wasteful. I also find that with drier skin, and if you get dry patches, it helps prevent that makeup from looking like scaly, if you want to call it. And then the tapping motions with the Beauty Blender also help with that. I find when I use a brush, when I have drier skin, it tends to look more scaly than when I use the Beauty Blender. It just has a more natural application. I get these off of Amazon for for 5 of them, I think it's like $4.99, so $1 each. Don't spend $20 on a beauty blender. There is no difference between the high-end beauty blender and what you can get off of Amazon or Walmart or wherever. Rinse it out just like you do your brushes with soap and water. Remember, it's a sponge, so it likes to hold all kinds of gross stuff. So if you're not cleaning it regularly, you may find that you're starting to break out. And nobody wants to break out. All right. So the foundation is buildable. I go back over areas that I feel like I just need a little bit more coverage. And then if you do this first, you can use your concealer next, and you'll use less concealer this way because you're not trying to double cover up things that don't necessarily need covered up. So I don't focus a lot in this area because I know I'm going to take my concealer there anyways for some natural contouring. So I save my makeup for other areas. And then always blend down. Match your neck, not your face, with your foundation, because if you are matching your face, sometimes it's not the same color as your neck. Some people tend to be lighter because they try not to tan their face. Use a darker shade of makeup to blend into your neck. You'll look more natural that way. And then sometimes people have a darker face than a neck. I typically see it the other way around. So, all right, next I'm gonna take my concealer. Okay, I take, I've had this forever. Not forever, for like 4 months. And I'm not even making a dent in it, which I love. I love when I have longevity in my products because it makes me not feel so bad when I spend a ridiculous amount of money. Okay. Remember, don't just leave your concealer under your eye. That looks super unnatural. And try to pick a concealer that's a tiny bit lighter than your foundation, because what you're trying to do is lighten up areas under your eyes. And if you're putting a color that's the same or darker, it's going to have the opposite effect. And then I like to do like a triangle, because that again will look more natural when I blend it all out. And anywhere that you want to make look bigger or stand out, put the concealer. Along with my hillbilly voice, I have a hillbilly chin sometimes, and what I mean by that is my profile. My chin doesn't stick out, it kind of sinks back in, so I call that my hillbilly chin. So I add a little bit of concealer to my chin, and I feel like that helps give the illusion of, I don't want to say protruding, I guess I don't know the word, of that non-sinking chin. Okay, and a little bit on my forehead. And now I'm ready to blend the concealer. I take the same beauty blender I just used for my foundation, and quick tapping motions. That's gonna blend the best. Anybody have plans this weekend? We have Halloween parties and Halloween parties. The girls are quite social now. We had minor meltdowns because our costumes weren't what they wanted. I swear, there's a reason God gave me 3 girls, but everybody needs to pray for me that I don't kill them, especially as Giselle is getting close to being a teenager. Holy cow. Okay, when I'm happy that's all blended, I need to set it. You set it with a setting powder. It's going to soften it up and it's going to keep it looking good all day. It's going to prevent that creasy that you get under your eyes with a concealer. Excuse me. And you just tap it in. You can use the Beauty Blender. Sorry. This is just a translucent powder. It has no color to it. So it's good with any foundation shade. And then I just like to go back over anywhere I put concealer. And now I am pasty white, so I'm going to add color back in. Alright. If anybody asks me what my favorite products, okay, I have a lot. But if I had to choose two, it'd be the foundation and the translucent setting powder. The translucent setting powder really almost gives you a filtered look. Okay, I'm going to take my bronzer right in my natural contour. You can see I have a natural contour right here. Follow that on your face. Everybody has a natural contour. And if you can't find it, suck your cheeks in, go. And you'll find your natural contour. Try to keep it back a little bit. Don't bring it in too far, otherwise you're going to elongate, or you're going to make your face look more round. This, keeping it back, elongates your face. And then I take some up in my hairline for a natural contour. I've said before, I don't go for like a Kim Kardashian, I want to change the appearance of my face contour. I like more of a natural look. I don't want to look super made up every day. But if I were trying to, you could definitely do some more tricks with contouring if you're wanting to completely change. You've seen those pictures where they change the shape of their face. Let's be real. I don't want to do that, nor do I have the time. Who wants to not look like themselves? Obviously, some people. Next, I'm going to take my, actually, I think I'm going to use a lighter blush. I'm going to use this one. It already has some shimmer in it, which I like. And if you take one of these fan brushes like this, you're going to get a very light application and it's not going to move that foundation around. This foundation period doesn't have a lot of issues with you moving it after it's on, but if you used a heavier brush, it's going to kind of remove that foundation from where you placed it. So a lighter hand and a lighter brush, and just go right above your bronzer. If you like a little bit more of a shimmery look, you can take a stick. This is a cream to powder luminizer. This is good to highlight areas. If you're going to use it kind of sparingly. You don't want to look like a disco ball. I'm not being very PC today. Just apply it right on top of where you put the blush. This is to highlight your cheekbone. Again, give the appearance of more of a lifted, elongated cheekbone. And then you can tap it out with your finger. I also like to put it right there. Anything to make my upper lip look a tiny bit bigger, I'm all about. I don't know what's wrong with me. And then a little bit on the tip of my nose. All right, eyes. Always prime your eyes. I use the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I can't tell you about the Unique primer other than what I've read about because I haven't tried it. This has always been my favorite primer and it's what I still have, so I'm going to use it. Use your ring finger to apply it. You would think that your pinky has the lightest touch in your hand, but it's actually your ring finger. Anytime you can use a lighter touch, it's going to be better for your skin. Sorry. Premature wrinkling is not our friends. So anything we can do technique-wise to prevent that, we should be doing. Okay. Primer not only keeps your eyeshadow on, but it evens out your lid. If you've noticed that as I've applied it on. So sometimes I'll even just put primer on, not put eyeshadow, put on a eyeliner and mascara and go. And it's my quick, simple, it goes into like my 5-minute look. Okay, primer will make your eyeshadows appear, sorry, more bold and keep it on longer. Let's see, I've collected so many different pressed shadows that I've started putting in this. I have several more on the way, so these are the pressed shadows that I usually use. Find the right brush here. It's important to use the right brush when you're putting on eyeshadow. Wrong brush will make everything look not as great. So first thing you're going to want to do is pick a shade that's closest to your skin tone to put a base. And I'm going to take this lightest color here. And then I take just this is just like it's called a deluxe brush. It's somewhat more compact and it's good for pressing shadow in. Use tapping motions when you're pressing a shadow in. And I suggest pressing in when you're using more of a bold color or sparkles, or when you're trying to get your base kind of even. When you apply a base color, it gives the other colors something to blend from, and it's going to blend so much better, I guess that's the word I want to say, than if you were just to take like your crease color in right now, because that primer's on there and it's going to pick up the color, and it causes that pigment to be brighter. So if you go on with the dark color first, it's going to pick up that dark color. It's going to be more difficult to blend. So that's why I suggest placing that very neutral color all over from lash to brow. Next, I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm going to take my transition color. So this isn't going to be my darker crease color. This is going to be more of a medium shade. And since I'm doing a fall look, I'm going to take this beautiful color. It's called Gingerly. It reminds me of pumpkin. And I just tap to pick up color. I don't dig to get color. And then I start right above my crease. So a trick, if you're at home, grab a mirror and kind of hold it down below you and look in the mirror. And that opens up all of this eyeshadow space. And I start out in the corner and just kind of windshield wiper motion, go in. Once I'm happy where that's kind of placed, I go in a circular motion to blend outward and upward. And you're going to want to hold your brush towards the back end because it gives you a lighter hand and it's easier to blend. If you're holding down here, you're packing your color in and it's not going to blend. So try to hold your brush. Remember to hold your brush back here. I suggest holding it down here, so not only does that open up the space, but when you open your eyes, you can see the color. If you are closing your eyes and you're placing it right actually where your crease is, when you open your eyes, you're not going to see any color at all. And really, what's the point? You spent 15-20 minutes getting ready and you can't tell. So that's why I suggest doing it this way, so you can actually see your beautiful work. Okay, I'm happy where that is. I'm going to just go ahead and work on my other eye. I always match side to side. I never complete one eye first. Hi, Tara. Okay. I'm happy where that is. Next, I'm going to take my crease color. So that was my transition color. It was a little bit lighter than what I like to use my crease. So I think I am going to go for this color here. It's more of a brown. Try to use colors in the same family if you're going for a more smooth transition. And then I take this color and I start and I place it right underneath where I put that transition color. And notice I'm holding it a little bit closer because I want to be very precise as to where I'm putting my color. When I go back to blend it out, I'll move my hand down the brush for the blending. just tap to pick up color. If you feel like you have too much, tap it off the end. Don't blow on it. You don't want to put gross germs in your brush. Okay, I just put it out in this crease. I don't take it too far in, but I will blend it inwards. The reason I do this is because my eyes are a bit smaller, and if I take too much dark inward, it tends to make my eyes look smaller. So I try to keep everything kind of out on the outer edge, outer corner. So it's just a little bit darker. Okay, and then you can blend it inward. And then finally, I like to take that same deluxe brush that I first used. Let's see where I put it. Because it is a tiny bit more compact, I can take my darker colors, like I said earlier, and precisely put it where it is, and it doesn't cause that fallout, and it's exactly where you want it. So I'm going to take this really pretty maroon color. It's called Faravint, and it tends to look a different color depending on what colors you're using it with. Sometimes it looks more maroon, sometimes it looks more purple. And I'm gonna just place it right here from my lash line to my crease. And I don't take it in further than my pupil because, again, I want my eyes to look a little bit bigger. So I place it with this, and I'll go back and blend it. Tapping motions when you're placing dark colors. That'll kind of keep you in control of where you're placing it. All right, and now I blend that back in. So this can either look kind of reddish or it can tend to look more purple. And that's why it's my favorite fall color. You can kind of customize it with the other colors that you're using. And so my lid, this big section, needs some love too. And I'm going to use the prettiest cream shadow. It's like a gold. And I'm going to press that into the crease, and it's going to open up my eyes. Let's see. Here it is. So I use a cream shadow brush to apply this. It is a really pretty gold color. Just pick up the color and, again, tap it in. I don't like a lot of sparkle on my eyes, but this gives a really pretty foiled look. And you can take that from the corner of your eye. So you can even, it's okay if you take it like right in here and right in here. That tends to make your eyes look bigger too. I feel like I need a tiny bit more above my crease. So you can go back in, and you don't have to follow the same exact steps. If you feel like you need a little extra love right above your crease, go back with that transition color. And blend up. It's really important to make sure you're blending well. You don't want to have eyeshadow that looks like I call them lines of demarcation. You don't want to have very clear borders of your makeup. You want it to look nice and blended. It's all about that shading. Okay. I need some eyeliner and mascara. I'm going to take my black pencil and I apply it a little bit thicker to the outer part of my lash line to give more volume. And again, I don't want it thick if I'm trying to make my eyes look bigger. The thicker that you make your eyeliner, the smaller your eyes will look in that area. So if you are trying to make your eyes look a little bit smaller, go ahead and take that eyeliner all the way in. That's going to help you achieve that. And then again, under the eye, I just take a tiny bit. I don't go all the way in. Thicker on that outer corner, and then just kind of slowly transition the line from thicker to thinner. Happy with that. Now I can go on with my mascara. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. So you can use a powder, you can use a pencil, you can use a brow gel. There are tons of different brow products out there. You've got to find what works for you. I find a brow gel works for somebody that has more brow to work with, because all it is basically putting a brow mascara on, and if you don't have brows to put that on, it's not going to work for you. If you're trying to fill in a lot of areas, I suggest to use either a pencil or a powder. A powder can tend to look a little bit more natural. This is a small Smashbox palette. You can use eyeshadow. Let me use an eyeshadow for you. So my brows are pretty dark. I am going to take this color to fill in my brows, and you want to take a more angled brush, a little bit more densely packed to apply that, and you just pick it up by tapping, and then you want to follow your natural brow line and little tapping motions to fill in or better define your brows. Brows can take quite a while to do, so take your time with them. They kind of define your face. If your brows look crazy, people are going to kind of notice that the first thing when they see you. So take your time, don't overdo it. Mine kind of dip down. Mine don't need a whole lot of extra love, but if you wanted to, you can change the complete shape of your brow if you don't have a lot of brow to work with. As we age, our brows tend to thin, but the hair that we do have tends to get a little bit longer. So I already have some thinning right in here. You can get some thinning from over plucking, or tweezing's the actual word you should say. We pluck a chicken, we tweeze a brow. And then your hair doesn't tend to grow back. So if you had the beautiful look of the brows in the 90s where they were over tweezed, then you may have issues right now with patchy spots. And this is good to kind of fill in those patchy spots. I'm also going to show you how a pencil can take care of that. So try to pick a color that's your natural hair color. You don't want to go with something that's not going to look very natural. Let's see. There it is. All right, I just use a pencil. This has a spoolie on the end that you can brush your brows out. I always suggest brushing your brows. This is going to give it more of a finished look. All right, this is a softer pencil, so I like that. And you always want to draw little hairs. If you block your eyebrows out, it's not going to look pretty and natural. So tiny little strokes to do that. Some people like to use a wax to set their brows, and that really does keep it set all day. Locks that color in, and it makes them look nice and finished. So, hi Frankie. This has a little bit of wax in it, so I'll just pick up the wax with that same pencil that I went with the powder. Kind of go back over it and set my brows for the day. Just set them. All right, mascara time. If you know me at all, you know I'm about to use my Epic and my 3D fibers. wiggle at your base. And then work upward. And while that's still wet, I like to place my fibers, but they are loose, so I have to like kind of pack them down on my hand. And the reason I put on fibers on top of my Epic is just because it gives me more volume. I'm okay with the length of my lashes. Although these do give incredible length, what I look for more is volume. And then you kind of have to set those fibers in place because they don't have a mascara attached to it. That's why it's a several step process. And then I got a little bit under my eye. I'll let that dry and I'll take care of it here in a minute. Lightly apply it to your lower lash line. Don't pump your mascara. That actually will introduce air, dry your mascara out faster. Also introduces bacteria. It will shorten the life of your mascara so much more than if you just kind of roll the mascara wand around. Okay, go back with my fibers. These have absolutely no color, like you can see. It's nice. If you have extra mascara on the end, just kind of rub it back off. Setting the fibers now. Okay, happy with my mascara. Oh, I forgot to do my lower lash line. You just kind of rub it off, and then I can take a little bit of concealer if I rubbed my concealer off. Lips. I love lip products. Even if I don't do something with my eyes, I always do a lip. So I'm going to use Prudent. This is a neutral lip liner. And apply it all over. This is going to give a good base for my lipstick. It's like a pink nudie color. Okay. You can either, if you like the color of the lip liner, you can go ahead and put like a chapstick, or we have like a Bonbon. This is a tinted like lip moisturizer. Or you can apply your favorite lip color. And I am looking for Loaded. Okay. This is a really pretty fall color. It looks good on all skin tones, so I'm just going to apply it over my lip liner. Same concept as a primer for your face and eyes. A lip liner is kind of like a primer. Okay. Really kind of, if you're trying to take your step up from a neutral lip to something a little bit bolder, this is a great second step. It's not a lip stain or long-lasting lipstick, which can be nice too. It's really super hydrating and moisturizing. All right, my fall look is done. I'm ready to go. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'm sure there are lots of fun holiday things going on, Halloween things going on. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.